Before we begin this video, I would like to point out that this video was not edited by me, but instead by Noobmaster Pro. They will be editing a handful of videos for me from now on, as due to my classes for university starting up soon. Whilst the editing style may fluctuate for a while for the next few uploads, do keep in mind that it's now both me and him editing videos for the channel. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Welcome to a video on how to get good at the Scallywag Imp, perhaps the most charismatic and fun imp to play in the game. Players who can master what is essentially a 3-foot tall 90-year-old deceased midget can easily fuck and annoy the entire enemy team harder than a sniper main existing in TF2. Let's get started. The Scallywag Imp is a variant of the Imp class, who, as you can tell by his visual design, hunts for treasure of the lost Playboy magazines. His primary weapon is of a pair of looty shooties that are essentially a Tesco's home brand chemist weapon, except better because it actually fires a fucking projectile. The weapon fires at 200 rounds per minute and has 12 ammo per clip before needing to take a quick 1.5-second reload. Each shot fired can deal 22 damage when at point blank range, with 18 from the projectile and 4 from the muzzle flash. The projectile fired also has the most pointless amount of splash in the entire game, at a whopping fucking 1 damage, the literal biggest pop cap memento since BFN. It can go up to 25.5 damage for a critical hit, though the weapon does suffer a severe amount of drop off, with it going down to 14 damage for a normal hit and 16.7 for a critical hit. Because his weapon is essentially a rapid fire shotgun, it is advised that you get right in your enemy's face, as so that not only can you calculate the surface area that their fucking fingernails take up, but to also maximize the amount of damage you can deal to them. Granted, you can still use his weapon with relative ease at mid to long range, due to it not having much spread or recoil to deal with at all, so enjoy counter-sniping that one camo cactus, who kept head glitching the whole game, all because they want a 62 kill streak. Of course, with this piss eggplant-sized shitlord being a legendary variant, he has access to a special meter, known as Yo-Ho-Ho mode. This mode is one of the 3 in the game to have a unique perk in its charging condition, as unlike those of the standard meter, who require either 5 players or 10 cannon fodder final blows to charge, the Scallywag Imp's meter only requires a combination of either 3 players or 6 cannon fodder final blows in order to fully charge it. In the hands of a skilled player, this will allow them to trigger his legendary meter very frequently and be able to fuck the lobby like it's their bitch. Once the meter is activated, for the next 15 seconds, you will move 50% faster and take 50% less damage. Whilst this may lead some people into think that it is weaker due to the lack of a damage buff, this is not the case, since the high armor and speed means that not only will you be an erratic little shit, but you will also be an erratic little shit that is as durable as a Road EZ, with a tiny ass hitbox. Having extra speed on a class that's about the size of a goth kid at school's will to live is a guaranteed way to not only be extremely evasive, but to also get messages claiming that you're a hacker. Happy trolling. Now obviously, with every imp variant, not only do we have the imp himself to deal with, but also his mech, since every imp gets a unique one. The Scallywag Imp's mech is a fuck-off huge walking boat equipped with more seaweed than a fish can smoke and more cannonballs than every ball joke known on planet Earth. The mech comes with a massive 400 health, tied with the Drake mech for having the most amount of health of any playable character ever. Yet despite that, a P-Gatling would give 0 shits and still melt you fast as fuck anyway. The mech comes with a pair of primary weapons, one for when hip firing and one for when aiming down sights. The hip fire weapon is similar to the likes of the chemist in being a close-range shotgun weapon that spews out a fuck ton of cannonballs. The weapon fires at 125 rounds per minute and shares an ammo pool of 10 before needing to take a 2-second reload. Each shot fired can deal 35 damage with up to a maximum range of 7 meters. Each shot fired by the shotgun costs 1 bullet per shot. The other weapon, which can be accessed by aiming down sights, is a slower firing splash sniper that makes any plumber main jealous to the fucking sun. The weapon fires at 75 rounds per minute and shares the same ammo pool as the shotgun, though it consumes 2 ammo per shot. Each shot fired can deal 55 damage for a direct hit and up to 35 for the splash in a fairly generous radius. The weapon does have a small amount of drop off, with it going down to 40 damage for a direct hit. This makes the Scally mech very adaptable to most situations, with the sole exception of sniper ranges, which is where the mech struggles at the most. Though outside of this, it still provides a lot of opportunities for the mech to dish out tons of damage within both close and medium range, especially when dealing with multiple enemies, which its abilities also complement. The first of these is the rebranded Imp Punt. To put simply, basically imagine a standard beam bomb, but with almost the amount of damage as a Sombrero one. That's right, as after 3 seconds of being deployed, this bomb of absolute death will explode, dealing up to a maximum of 225 damage to all of those within a very generous radius. What makes this shit even better is that you can throw it further than normal, by simply walking forward, jumping, and looking at an upward angle before throwing the bomb. This will allow it to travel a massive distance, and by the time the enemy notices, they will be given a free tick to the fucking respawn screen. Once used, the ability will go on a 30-second cooldown. The other ability the Scally mech has is the peg leg cutter. This will cause the mech to start dwelling on its peg leg like fucking Billy Elliot and shoot cannonballs all over the fucking place. It will automatically lock onto any enemy within a large radius, so don't worry if your aiming skills are as terrible as a bronze Overwatch player. Each shot fired will deal 30 damage up close and 20 towards the ability's range limit, with 10 splash for reassurance. This is best used against multiple enemies, since the single target DPS for this shit is about as useful as a Rose player without the homing upgrade. Once used, the ability will go on a 31-second cooldown. And like every Z-mech, it comes with explosive escape, which is the same across all Z-mechs, so there is no need to repeat myself. The optimal upgrade setup for the Scallywag Imp would be the ammo, damage, and health upgrades, with the ammo and damage upgrades being especially important, as increasing your damage per shot, on top of your overall damage per clip, allows you a much larger window of opportunity to kill beefier opponents. And the health upgrade, purely because all imps in general benefit greatly from the health upgrade. In terms of strengths, the Scallywag Imp has some immense close range firepower, and his legendary mode allows him to be extremely evasive and resistant against his enemies' attacks. His mech is adaptable with both a shotgun and a mid-range weapon, along with boasting a massive 400 health, and some highly damage area of effect abilities, making him fairly effective against groups of enemies. However, like most imps, Scallywag does suffer noticeably in performance at mid to long range, so longer range classes like Cacti and Corns, if they spot you first, can easily fuck you up big time. His mech, whilst it does have some impressive area of denial capabilities, is rather poor at long range combat, due to his secondary fire costing more ammo per shot, and that the projectile has a lot of travel time that needs to be accounted for. Thanks to this guide, you will now be the master of being a looty booty swiggerty swooty piece of shit, as you ransacks the enemy team's chance of winning the game, and getting all of the hate mail known to man. Be sure to come back for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.